Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast. We're doing things a little bit differently. First of all, this is episode 38, I believe.
Oh, you
And
got it right. Good job.
let's go. Yeah, so I'm joined by Uncommon Fossil, but this is more of a regular video. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, understand. Oh, so we're making a tier list. Obviously, that's better
Right.
visually, but we're going to be saying all this stuff too. And really, it's just a tier list. It's not that big of a deal to
Right.
watch. So,
You could imagine it in your head probably if you've seen one before, and you probably have.
yeah. And then we're taking a look at
Or
V.
or you can print out a blank sheet of paper and make it yourself to follow along
Exactly.
at
Or
home.
you could actually, I have the link to the tier list down below in the description, so you could actually make the tier list yourself. Um, but yeah. So we're doing the
Yeah.
V-Star powers, but by just
hmm
the V-Star power. So not necessarily in context of the Pokemon. We haven't actually talked about this too much, so hopefully we're on the same page. But um,
No.
yeah.
Well,
So
I assume, look, Arceus is considered a good Pokemon, but once you get just the V-Star power, it's going to become garbage, right? That's
exactly.
kind of what I
That's
figure, because that's V-Star power is the worst ever, right?
yeah.
But
It's so bad. Yeah. No.
I
It's
unless I'm off base there. Okay.
yeah. So
Right.
Archus is pretty good. It might be the best one. We'll see. We'll see. You never
We'll
know.
have
But
to see. Right.
and we're assuming these are in a vacuum, not on the. Well, okay, we're not necessarily in a vacuum, but not on the Pokemon itself. So, for
We're
example,
not worrying about the attack or the type, right? Or the HP.
yeah, so we're essentially going to assume that these are all on Seal Stone cards. So, for example, for Seal Stone gives a Pokemon V it's attached to, all the Seal Stones give the Pokemon V they're attached to that V-Star power that they can now use. It can be
Right.
any type of Pokemon. So we're just seeing pretty much which ones would be good in that category. Obviously, this is a bit strange, but I think it'll be an interesting experiment and the best way to judge them. But yeah, so obviously this means that like Arceus is directly better than Force Seal Stone, but I have a feeling this Force Seal Stone
Yes.
won't be the worst either.
No. I mean, it's kind of right. It's kind of weird because Forest Steel Stone's partly good because it goes on any Pokemon. So that part kind of gets shifted away. But anyway, I think why don't we dive into it and we'll sort things out. It should be hopefully become clear as we go along. If not, we got a problem.
Yeah, and also we're in. I think we should. You always want to do this before we start, so let's do it. We got SAB, CDF as the tiers. So let's talk about
Right.
an idea of what we think they mean. First of all, for F, I think is like worse than a regular attack. Like you wouldn't want this,
It's just
even if it wasn't.
garbage.
Yeah, once per game.
You'd rather if it was erased from the card, it wouldn't hurt the card at
Yeah.
all.
D would be like it's pretty underwhelming. They're
Yeah.
very situationally useful. I think C's like it's fine, like it's a nice addition, but like you probably wouldn't go out of your way to play it. It's probably not really worth running over most of the other ones.
Right.
B is like
It
pretty solid. Were you gonna
Yeah, I
say
mean,
something?
C. Well, C is probably should probably be situationally relative, right? Like C is an average grade, but usually a tier maker C is considered not that good, right? So I'm not sure how we want to handle
I
that.
mean it's below average. I'd say it's kind of like in normal, like C is
B's
technically average,
average.
but somewhere between C and B is probably average in normal grading
Okay.
as well. You're not necessarily happy to get a C all the time. Um,
No.
and then B is like is a little above average. It's like it's nice, has some good element to it,
hmm
some very good element to it, but it's not the best. A is very strong, either the best at what
Yeah.
it does or it does something very good. And S
hmm
is probably going to be um well, I think it's probably going to be Arceus in all honesty. It might not be. I need to look at them. But it's
Well,
going to be something that probably one or two that are like the best of the best.
yeah, to me, that's what I would see. S is the best. So it's like one, two. That's about it for S, is what I say. So A could be almost as good as S, but S is, at least something distinguishing it above to be the very best.
Yeah.
Is that
Uh,
fair? Okay.
yeah. So let's see. You want to go and read the first card here?
All right. So the first one is the Hisuian Lilligant V-Star we're
Yeah.
starting with.
Oh, and one thing I
I,
want to say as well, I 10 types know the cards. Bad. I know what they look like. Uncommon Fossil does not know very well, and we're looking at images that are kind of small. So
yes, and
yeah,
tier maker, they're small. So that helps with the podcast, right? I'm going to have to look at the card, well, visually, but I'll read them off anyway. So, which will be good. So, yeah. So I need a moment to think about it as I look after we read it. So, Star Perfume, it's an ability, right? V Star powers can be either an attack or ability. We're doing all both. So, probably abilities are going to skew higher than attacks, but I don't know. That'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see.
Hmm.
During your turn, you may search your deck for up to 5 in any combination of grass Pokemon and grass energy. Reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck after. So, and then shuffle your deck. So that's underwhelming, I gotta say, is my first thought.
Yeah, I think it's so I have seen actually a student good V-Star C play in Meowscarada, but obviously grass isn't a particularly it's been said before, it's not good.
Right,
It's
grass isn't great. And you have lots of ways to search Pokemon out, right?
Yeah, I think
So
it's
it
pretty
gets
good. Like
5,
in
which is good.
Cherim, I think it should be very good because it gets you all
Yeah.
this energy and some attackers and your engine or your stuff like that. Oh, your like acceleration. But I think it's very specific. I think it's like way too specific.
Yeah. I mean, I just did the Torterra deck, the single prize attacker, and didn't think about this card, and I'm still not putting it in. And I need a lot of evolutions in that deck, right? So
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's not real good. So is it what, a D? It's a D or an F? I don't think it's
I
above a
don't think
D.
it's F. I think it's a D. I think it has some use cases. What
Something
it
could
does,
use
I
it.
think if this was on like water, it'd be very good. But it's not, so it's bad.
Okay. So now let me just point out though, you said we were going to ignore typing. So now
No,
you
I
said
didn't say
you
we're ignoring
brought
type.
type.
I said we're ignoring. No,
Yeah, I
I
said
didn't say
that.
that. Yeah.
Maybe I did. Okay.
So yeah, we are not ignoring typing. We are looking at them as if they were just Sealstone cards.
Okay. So so D, and we obviously don't have to fully agree. We each are making our own tier maker, but you're putting it at D as well, I assume.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we're going to order each tier, right? Like we're
I
not
don't
going
know.
to
I thought
order
we
all
were
the
gonna
Ds.
make the. Well, this is like a podcast. We gotta stretch out the length, right? Gotta get
Uh, I,
that view time.
well, we have a bunch of cards. I think we won't have a problem stretching it out, but we'll see.
That could be true. That could be true. Next up we got. I'll just read it. It's Palkia V-Star or Origin
Yep.
Form Palkia V-Star. Which has its ability here, Star Portal. Oh, I got an ad. So it says you get to, it's just an ability, you get to accelerate up to 3 water energy from your discard pile to your water
Hmm.
Pokemon in any way you'd like. Um, yeah, this is good.
This is
It's,
good. This is quite good. Um, and of course, the water is solid, so that helps for sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can play Palkia in deck sometimes just for the ability, even. Although the attack's still very good too, but sometimes it's almost mostly ability focused,
yeah, and
I
now
would
if you could
say.
use this on like a basic, um, which keep in mind that's kind of like what we're looking at here. It could be allowed to get very powerful turn one attacks, turn one Radiant Greninja, turn
Hmm.
one Suicune, um, turn one Chin Pao, which are very
Yeah.
good. They're not like the most. I mean, turn one Radiant Greninja is pretty good. It kind of
Yeah.
allows you to do Excalibur, but that first turn we can't use Excalibur because it's an evolution. Now you got that covered, and I think this would be A.
Is it? It's either A or B, right? It's not
Well,
S,
I don't know.
I'm
I think
pretty
it's
sure.
close because it allows you to like donk. Like if your opponent starts like 2 Ralts, you can just win.
All right. Well, I'll put it at
I
A.
think
I
it's
think
A.
it could be. I mean, part of it is we need to be there's a to me a willingness to shift things as we go on too, right? Because if we
Yeah.
find that there's a bunch of cards better than Palkia, we might just drop it, right?
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
if ultimately there's nothing better than it than say Arceus, maybe it becomes tier S. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a
So
it's a bit of a high roll one, but allows is potentially insane.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Look, it's clearly a lot better than Hisui and Lilligant.
yeah. Okay. Next
So
up, we got Hisuian Typhlosion V-Star, which I'll read out as well for one
okay.
Psychic. If your opponent's active has exactly 4 damage cards on them, they're instantly KO'd. It's an attack, obviously, but it's very
Yeah,
strong. If
it's
we were in an
strong, but
Inteleon
it's
meta, I think this would be insane, but we're not. Um,
you mean the old Inteleon, the single prize?
yeah, which is
Where you can
still in
ping
the
and put
current
two
in the
damage
format. Yeah.
counters on every turn,
Mhm.
and scoop up net and all those things which we don't have now.
Yeah. Well, you do have the Inteleon, but also you do have the new Starmie, which allows you to ping too. Um,
Yeah,
I think this is okay. I think it's you could like put this in a spread deck as well, right? You have some spread deck, but spread decks often have
yeah.
a very big issue, especially if you're only doing like 40. They have a big issue in one-shotting. I think this is all
Hmm.
right.
Now, let me ask you this. We didn't discuss this before, but so Shimmering Star, it's for one psychic. So it's still for one psychic energy,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So if you're not playing a psychic attacking deck, putting it in is a little trickier because
Yeah,
you need
that's
psychic
true.
energy.
But I
So,
think it's not. I think a lot of spread decks are psychic. Um, I'm trying to think.
yeah.
So like obviously there's Lost Zone. But we're gonna talk about Giratina later. Um, well, this is
y-
like you
So it's
probably
B or
wouldn't,
C,
huh?
right? It's either B or C.
I think
I'm pretty
it's
sure.
yeah. I think it's
It's not an A. It's not that good. It's not as bad as a
no,
D.
no. I think it's
So,
I think C for now. As you were saying, like
yeah.
attacks are worse than abilities. Um, it's only in certain decks. I think it's C is fine.
Okay. Yeah. I imagine most of the time you're not going to want this one in your deck, I
No.
would think.
Okay, you
So,
want to read the next one? Do
uh-oh,
you
the
know what it
next
is?
one. No, oh,
It's
there it is.
World
It's his
Champion.
Hisuian Decidui. See, I partly know, but I recognized the image when I went to Limitless. It's not one I
Yeah.
see a lot. It was in the World Championship deck, but it wasn't really around before that, and it dropped out of it pretty quickly too, right? It was that.
Yeah, pretty much was cut after that set.
So Star of Fortune, and we'll obviously ignore the attack here. So Star of Fortune. During your turn, you may draw until you have 8 cards in hand. So one,
As an ability as well.
it's an ability, right? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's one more than like a research get you. You draw until,
Yeah.
which
Oh, I have a
obviously,
question. So, are we counting these as, are we like docking a card if it's say worse than another one, or are we just not doing that?
uh,
I
I
think we
mean,
shouldn't. I think we shouldn't because then Force Seal Stone would be F because
yeah.
you'd literally never
I
use it.
mean, I think we don't fully dock it for that, but at some point you can't ignore the fact that it's half as good as this other card either.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
it's a
don't I
little
don't know. Yeah, I think I mean this isn't directly worse than anything else, but there are a few like draw search ones.
okay.
Um,
Well, we'll see. We'll kind of keep that as it's a good question. I think generally no, but we'll.
yeah,
So draw till 8 is good. Eight's obviously a lot. 8 is what you get with what do you get
Cynthia's
8
Ambition.
with? Is that the only one? Bruno
Um,
gets you 7, is
yeah,
it?
Bruno gets you 7. I'm trying to think, and I can't think of any card that does 8 off the top of my head.
I
I
mean,
think there's
research
it's
does
Professor's
7, so
Birch's off.
seven's what you normally hit. So 8 is one more than most things.
Uh, uh, no, never mind. Yeah. So I think it's pretty good. Uh, it's a good. It's obviously versatile. Um, it doesn't necessarily get you exactly what you want, but it's pretty
No.
good. It gets a you don't lose stuff as well, which is nice. I think it's
Right. Because with rare candy decks now, which are becoming big with EXs, stage twos, and I think it's going to grow over time, which I kind of like, you don't want to ever discard those rare candies. So, or you got to be very careful. So, discarding research is worse now than it was before. So,
yeah, and
drawing
you
on
need this
top of
big
is
hand
good.
as well. So this one, 8 cards is a very sizable hand.
It's
Um,
still not great, though. So, we're still in the BC
I
range, I'm
think
thinking.
it's BC. I think it's
I
I
don't think
think
it's
it's
better than a B.
definitely better than Hisuian Typhlosion. I think it's
No, it is. It
so I'd
is.
say it's
So, it's,
B. I'd say it's B. I think it's pushing A. I think it's I don't
I
I
will
don't
put
feel
it in
bad
B.
putting in B though. I think it's
Okay, again, we're early days, so let's see what else we get in here to fill things out. So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the sequence of these four is clearly, I think, correct. So,
Yeah.
at this point, all
All right.
right, why don't you hit the
Next.
next one?
Okay. Do you know this one? Do you recognize it? It's
No,
d-
I'm trying to
it's
remember.
Darkrai.
So,
It's Darkrai.
oh,
Darkrai
Darkrai.
V
Okay,
Star. I thought you knew this one. So
I
anyway,
did. I played it some, but it kind of looks like Mawile, doesn't it? Or am I maybe I'm
I
completely wrong?
guess it's kind of looks like Mawile. Not really.
One of the
So
things I will say about this is since I play online, basically I play live now, PTO before, I don't really worry about what the cards look, nor what the attack names are. You just kind of know what they are, and you kind of don't. You're not, I know these things better. I think if I was handling them more,
yeah.
but go on.
Oh, and also all of them, they pretty much all look the same. The graphic style is the same, and they have
Yes.
some like swirly stuff around them, but that's about it. So it is kind of hard to differentiate them, especially if you don't know what they look like. And there's
Yeah.
as I said, small. Yeah, Darkrai, a very actually good one in my opinion. Star Abyss during your turn, you may put up to 2 item cards from your discard into your
Yep.
hand. which I think is good. Obviously, it's originally intended to pair with dark types, so you can get back dark patch, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I think
Right.
this
I've been
would
working
be
on an
pretty
Arbok
solid.
deck, and could go in that. So, but all right. So it is good. It's good. How good? Wow. It's probably better than Hisui and
Decidueye?
I think so, right?
Yeah, I think this is A. I think it's this is honestly one of my favorite V-Star powers in the game. It's kind of like Arceus but from the discard, but obviously you don't get anything. You get items, which is much more limited, and we're also going to talk about Regidrago
Right.
later, which is
Probably a lot better. Well, for
well,
that
it's
deck, it's better.
different.
I know. Yeah. We'll save that.
They're
It's
very
better
different.
for
Or
the
they're not very
Regidrago
different.
attack, but
Yeah.
um,
I think this is A below Palkia.
I could maybe. I think it might drop to a
Yeah, it
B.
might get
It's
dropped, but
it's
we'll
not
see.
as good as Palkia, so it's positionally right.
Yeah, I
Just
mean
between the
it's much
Pokemon.
you could put this in almost any deck as well, and you'll be very happy with it. Like Palkia obviously is very limited in the decks you can play it in, but when it goes, it's insane. Like in wild,
Right,
it's insane.
and you can use multiple tools per turn. I mean, items per turn, so that's good. Two supporters in one sense could be worse because you can play them both immediately.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
Uh,
I think we're good with that. All right,
so
so we're up to Hisuian Samurott V-Star, correct?
yep.
Haha, I looked it up, but never mind.
No.
So we have dark. Well, that doesn't matter. So Moon Cleave Star. It's an ability. During a turn, you may put 4 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. We have a lot of things that put 2 damage counters on, and I think in 3 too, right? The grass one that does 3. Something does
Yeah.
3,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Meowscarada
this is
does 3.
again, but this is your ability V Star power once per game. Can't do it again. So um,
I think this is only okay. I think it's not bad.
yeah,
But it's not like super good either. I think it's like so you look at the choice belt that sees play,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
it doesn't see tons of play because there aren't as many V's anymore. Like probably only half the decks are like V-based decks, probably actually
Right.
less. Ventral Punch and Box of Disaster both see play, but they are like in return. So when you're hit or
Yeah.
when you're knocked out, you take damage, which is fair, but
So you're
um,
trying to make the case of why it's good here.
yeah, I think it's good.
I mean,
I
the
think it's a
problem.
B, like below
Oh
a C and
wow.
Decidueye V-Star.
What? B. The problem is there's much better ways to put damage in the game.
Well, but
This
you were
goes to
just
the
saying
active.
they
Other things
weren't
go to the
good with
bench.
Hisuian Typhlosion. So, like,
Which that knocks you out if you have 4 damage counters, right? Is that what
yeah.
it does?
You
This
just said
one,
those
but
other
you
ways
have.
weren't good enough.
Well,
It's like
but I
2
have
up.
thing. But this is your V Star power for the game. Wouldn't I rather just use Intelli on VMAX and I'm putting two and two on the bench and stuff.
But picture this:
This does.
you're playing some like whatever deck, and then your
Yeah,
opponent plays a Ralts with 60 HP. Obviously, or
yeah,
like some Pokemon with 60 HP. Okay, now you use this. You play down a Medicham V, attach the
yeah.
Steel Stone card.
It's
Boom!
my
You just get a
Metacham.
free turn. You just like get a free turn in prize. Like, y
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if I'm playing Metacham V, then I would play this. So wait, so these are seal stone cards, so they're gonna go on Vs, correct?
yeah.
By the way, okay. So where are you putting this on the tier list?
B below hits you in Decidueye, I think.
I guess. I
I
mean,
think
that's
it's
probably
definitely better than Issue and Typhlosion. I think we got a bit of a
yeah.
big gap here, but I think it's all right for
It
now.
might be a tier C, but okay, I'll put it there in solidarity with you. I'm
Okay,
not convinced about it. So
okay. And then next up, you should know this one, right? Right.
this we have Dialga here, right?
Yeah, yeah. Origin form Dialga Star.
Origin, you're right. So I try to remember because it's alphabetical by the list, so it's under O's. When this one's an attack, is this our first attack?
This is our second
No, the other
attack.
attack was a knockout. This attack is right, Star Chronos. It's for 5 energy. That's the part that you can't skip over. But 4 metal, 1 colorless, 220 damage. All right, but then take another turn after this one, right? So you skip Pokemon checkup. So if you're poisoned or burned, don't worry about it. Even better. People skip that aspect of the card, but
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah. Okay.
that's what makes it good, right? Now,
I feel
but
like that's
look, back to
bad.
back
I feel like that's not a good thing.
skipping checkup.
Yeah, I feel like you'd rather not skip checkup. Um,
Yeah, I mean it doesn't matter 90% plus percent of the time,
yeah,
but
I've never seen it matter.
so No,
I
if
think this
poison
is,
was
huh?
if poison were a bigger thing, right? Then it starts to matter.
Yeah, but anyway, I think
That's
this card's not. This isn't good. I think this is bad.
it's not good.
I think you, and
Back to
yeah, I think
back attacks,
you're gonna
back
say
to
it's really
back
good.
turns.
Yeah, but it's five metal, or it's four
No, I
metal and one
know.
energy. It
No,
only
I
has
know.
like the only attack you want to pair this with is Dialga's.
That's the thing. Like, what do you put it with? Like, because obviously Dialga, it's regular attack, which is what we're sticking. You're gonna put this V Star, the Steel Stone, back on Dialga because I don't know where else you want it. But well, I don't know.
I was thinking you could like, cause Lost Zone, you have like Lost Zone, Gudra,
Yeah,
which has like metal Pokemon and metal energy, but even then
yeah.
you need to like play like three Mirage Gates. So
Right, 3 or 4 because you're only Mirage Gate only gets one medal. If Mirage Gate could
yeah,
get two
so
of the
it's not
medal,
like
I
great.
mean, it's
It's bad.
yeah.
It's definitely bad.
I,
Um,
you're causing me pain here.
I
I
know,
think
I
you're
know. It's
right
I think it's
because I
half.
like Dialga, but it's and Dialga, of course, is sketchy, but it's fun back to back turns. You just talked sung the praises of Metacham, which is all good because back to back
Well,
attacks.
it's
Here's
like
the
one
same thing.
energy, it's like one energy, and it's not even broken. It's good. It's but I think
So
this is F.
F
I
F.
mean, it's
Well,
like
wait,
I think it's a substantial step down from Hisuian Lilligant,
and
which
which
is
does what again? Because I
search
forget
five
that one.
grass energy and grass Pokemon.
Worse
Like,
than that,
yeah, because
I
this
guess.
doesn't like you're never gonna ever use
Yeah,
this.
I think I would ever use. I know I wouldn't use this card. And as a budget player, if someone asked me, should I craft this Sky Seal, the Seal Stone, the Dialga Seal Stone, I'd have to say no, probably.
Yeah,
What are you going to do it with? I think you're right. It's not good. That's weird though, because Dialga's is a good Pokemon,
and
right?
it's good because of its V-Star power as well.
I
But
know.
I think
So it's
in
kind of like, how do you say it's bad when it's a good on a good card? And half of why the card's good is because of this V-Star power.
yeah, it's kind of strange, but I think it's right. I think what
All right,
um
It's weird, but maybe you're right. All right, it's an F. I apologize, Dalga. You still have a place in my heart, though.
Yeah, another card you like here is Shaman,
Yes.
V-Star, although I don't think its V-Star power is very good. Star Bloom, it's an ability. Once during a turn, you may heal 120 from each of your benched grass Pokemon. Honestly, I thought it also healed your active. I forgot about that.
That's a right.
Um,
That's a big downer for it,
I mean, yeah,
actually.
I think it's just not like good.
Well, it's now Shaman. I don't think Shaman V Star is all that good, but this
Well, I think its
ability on a
attack's good.
yeah. But I
You played
think
it.
you're
You
going to
played it.
play it in some grass decks anyway,
But I'm trying to
right?
think. Like, there is
Let me think.
Celebi. It's okay in Celebi,
Hmm.
um, which isn't particularly good anyway. And I think
Yeah.
that's it. Like, I mean, like have to play in grass decks, and
Right.
like
And grass
120
decks with at
isn't
least one V.
necessarily getting you out of that like two-shot range. Um,
No,
it can be useful from time to time, but I think it's like these
I
are
guess
these like
not.
game-changing things, and it's not.
It doesn't heal all of like one or two. It heals part. I mean, this is where I'm thinking I'd play it if I played it, as I had my Torterra deck, which I just did, and if I'm getting hit like with Greninjas and Lost Zone shenanigans, right, with damage spreading around, I heal up my bench, and I might
Yeah,
like that.
it can stop Lost Zone from getting too tricky, but
But
like
that's even if that was the case, and I still might not play it as an option. That's very niche. So Shaman.
I think this
So
is
so
F. As I think
this
it's
is
below
F.
Dialga.
All right, because at least Dialga, I can stick back on the
Yeah, like
Dialga V
Dialga's
Star.
like strong. Like a Shaman, you wouldn't put this with the Shaman.
No, the shaman card, right? The attack, the good part of the shaman is the attack usually.
Yeah,
Um,
which honestly isn't too bad. I think it's good. The Shaman V seeing play, which is in the V Star, just
yes,
a strong version of that. Next up,
right.
I'll go with is Whimsicott.
Scott, yep.
So that one was it's what is this one? This one's like these all blend together in my mind. Fluffball Star.
Oh, is this on the next page here? Wait,
No.
what
Oh
happened?
wait, I don't know. I only have one page.
Oh
It's
wait,
near
oh
the
I
bottom.
reset the arts. I know
Oh,
something's
okay,
goofed
whatever.
up on
So
me.
Whimsicott V-Star,
Okay.
Fluffball Star. It's for one psychic, but you want more than one psychic. There's 60 to 1 of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached to this Pokemon. It does
Hmm.
not need to be psychic energy, which I honestly didn't realize. Oh no, I did realize that because you can play double turbo by that reduced damage. But then yeah, it does a snipe for each energy attached to it. It can be to the active as well. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, so 60 per energy attached. It needs at least one psychic. Um, this is actually pretty good. This is actually very good. It's good in Gardevoir, right?
Let me look at it again. So the 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached. Yeah, yes, obviously it's good in Gardevoir. Gardevoir would be very nice.
Yeah, it's okay in Lost
Well,
Zone.
I don't know if it does because the problem with that is you have Zacian in there. Is it better than Zacian V? Because it's got to be on a V Pokemon.
Well, it snipes, so
That's
I
true.
mean it's different. You play them both. You like play them
Yeah,
together.
so it hits the
Um,
bench too. Okay, so
and it's not you
um,
don't need that much energy either because it's like Zacian you need like 10 or something. Not 10, but like 7 to like
right.
one
Well, it
shot
depends
stuff.
what
And
level you need to get to,
yeah,
right?
and
Obviously.
Whimsicott you don't. You need like 5 or 6 to one shot everything. Literally.
Okay.
So, but then also it's a snipe. I think it's okay. I don't think it's that good though. I think you could play it in Lost Zone, but I don't know if you'd love to play it in Lost Zone because Lost Zone likes Force Steel Stone,
Hmm.
and you have things like that.
I think in Lost Zone Box you might put a copy in, right? Because if you
You
don't
could.
need to use your Forest Seal Stone,
Mhm.
you have the
I mean, I
Psychic
suppose now you have
Energy.
like double Force Steel Stone as well. Like there's some that are very good. But because like realistically, like most decks are probably going to put something like Arceus's or something similar. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think this
So
is okay. I think this is probably top of B. Kind of what I'm
yeah, I
thinking.
think it is too, which is interesting because there's a card that's not all that good.
No, it's not, but it slots. It would slot nicely into. I mean, Psychic's very good right now, so I think it's good.
Right. Because part of Whimsicott V starts at 250 HP. That's not that good.
Yeah,
And its attack is a counter
it's
card. It's not
yeah,
really a great attack in and of itself. So
yeah, and it's kind of awkward to set up, but I think it's cool.
okay.
Next up,
I'm
you can
I'm
say the next
dragging it
one.
I'm dragging it to S before we start the
Wow,
discussion.
wow,
So
yeah.
which means we're talking about Arceus. V-Star. And so, wow, this whole
Which lets
display
you
got
search
goofed
for
up.
two
Search for any two cards
cards.
in your deck, which is of course very very good. Um, much better, twice as good as the Forest Seal Stone. But I'm not supposed to say that. I apologize. Starworth is what it's called. It's an ability. Any two cards, really, just tremendous. I mean, there's decks that play Arceus just for the V Star power that don't even want it in the game after. Besides that, right?
Yeah. And they can still attack with it. Like, well, Chin Pao can. Yeah, it's when Chin Pao and Charizard, right?
Yeah,
They
and
both
I mean it's
can.
colorless, so any deck can attack with it.
Yeah. Charizard definitely does
Oops.
attack with it. Chin Pao usually will not attack with it.
Yeah.
But I think this is like, yeah, I mean, it's super good. It's
Yes.
insane.
It is the top of the
Y-
set, right?
Yeah, I think so. Um, yeah, I
I mean, it
was
is
like
for now anyway.
I
It's
was
better than
thinking about this some
Palkia.
before, but I think it is the best. It's clear S tier at least.
Yeah, I mean any two cards. I mean any like V deck that doesn't have a V Star power it wants to use plays Forest Seal Stone, which and that's just one card, and that's just super good, right? Any like V Max decks play Sky Steel, Forest Seal Stone essentially. Um,
Yeah,
unless there's something else they have some
and it
coverage.
helps them
So
as well. Like Mew VMAX when it got Force Seal Stone was like super happy because now it can
right,
it can get out of path situations because now all these abilities previously like you can't use Arceus under path. Well, now you can. So
right,
um
and this is twice as good as that. So it's just tremendous. It's good. You're going to have a real good reason not to play this.
yeah. Um, Next up, another one. Do you want to introduce the next one, or
Yeah.
do you know what it is?
So yeah, this is Leafy on
Yeah, obviously
VMAX.
got it.
I mean V Star. I
Oh yeah.
apologize. Which was one of the
Wait, I want to make sure I
first
didn't
to.
accidentally add in any of the VMAX instead of the VSTARs, because some of them have both, and I almost did. Looks like I didn't. Okay, good.
Okay, so this is one of the first and a good ability for sure. Ivy Star. During your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So it is a free boss without using your supporter for turns. So that's good, obviously. I mean, the downside in this is other abilities that are better, but it's certainly a good ability, period.
Yeah, where I have an idea of where I think I might put this, and I think it's going to be a bit different than what you think. So I want to hear what you think.
See, I'm trying to remember what all these things do.
I mean, just
It's
like,
good.
what do you like?
It's like a tier A, probably.
Yeah, I think I might say it's almost S. I think it's, I mean, it's,
Uh,
I don't know, it's worse than Arceus, but There are definitely times
Yeah,
when you'd want this over Arcus as well because it doesn't burn your supporter.
Palkia, and then it does 3 energy. This is better than that. The next
Yeah,
is what, Darkrai?
yeah, and
No, what's that one do
it's
again?
recover the
That's
2
2
items.
items.
Yeah, which
That's
we
better
said
than
might get
that.
bumped down.
So it's either top of A or second in S. I don't think I want more than 2 in S probably, but you
No,
want to
I
put in
think
S?
it's I think because there are
I
times
think
when
it's
you'd want
clearly
it.
better than Palkia's ability. I think Arceus is probably what it's closest to. So
Actually, yeah,
you want
I
to move it
think
to A?
let's put it in S, and then we could drop it down. I think it's fine. I think
Okay.
it's very good. There's
The
one
funny
actually
thing
quite
is, it's
similar.
really good, but it doesn't it doesn't get a lot of respect or doesn't get played, and even you don't play it really for the ability. So it's super good, but because Arceus just overshadows it, right? I'm not sure.
Arceus,
And
Force Seal Stone.
of course, grass isn't very good.
Yeah,
So
Grassling.
that's
It's not like a good card. Um, but I think it's a very good ability. I think its ability is the best part. Well, you and I both played this. And
yeah,
its ability is very good.
it is.
Because it allows you to play a supporter and guest at the same time and pretty easily.
Hmm.
So you could Arceus for cross switcher, but you don't really want to do that because that's like extra space here. It's filling up in your deck, and it's kind of
Right.
weird.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't. So
Um, Next up we got Charizard V-Star. Okay. This
yep,
one's a card. It does. I've lost it.
it's a card.
Yeah, it's not a
It's
particularly
a
good.
card that collectors want. That's what matters, right?
Yeah. So it does 320 for 4, and then you just for fire colorless,
Yeah.
and then you just go 2. It's not like good. I think it
No.
would replace the Fire Charizard EX and the Charizard deck, but I think this one's probably is it F?
I think. Look,
Is
I
it
think
D?
if you put Dialga in
An F.
there in F, and this is, I think Dialga's better than this.
That
It's
could
one
be.
more.
Yeah,
It's
that's
only one more
probably.
energy, but you attack twice, back to back turns. I'd
They're
rather have
different. Yeah,
that as
they're
an option.
well. I feel like you can't really ever power Dialga up though.
Yeah. Well, see,
Charizard
that's
has
just
Charizard EX, so
well, that's just so how
um,
much. Yeah. So how much do we take that into account? Because of Charizard EX, you could do this.
well, I feel like you can actually use it. Like you can't really actually use Dialga. Or you could, but not easily. I think this is. I'd
Is it
probably put it bottom of
D?
D.
Okay, bottom of
Um,
D. Okay, I think that's fair.
it's not good. Next up,
No.
do you know the next one?
I yeah. No, no, I haven't looked at it yet. Let me see here.
Okay, I
Um,
got it.
no, I don't remember what this one is.
This is Seer V-Star. This one's
Ah,
fun with Ember Star. This deck does 30 for each energy, and you discard for 1 fire.
hmm.
So, this can be pretty strong, but
Yeah.
in order to one shot, it's hard. Um, I think this is pretty. I'd say this is probably C,
Well, I
because
wonder
fire
if it could
type's a
be.
little awkward. It's kind of like I think it fulfills a similar role to Radiant Charizard. Like a very similar role. It's 1 fire
Well,
and you do big damage, and you're at the end of the game, and that's it.
but you can also use it like if you play Charizard EX and you play, say, an Entei in it, which isn't a terrible thing to do, I don't think. I like Entei anyway. So, but you put this in too, and you power it up with just 1 energy. You could also do a smaller attack early in the game.
But I don't
Use
think,
up.
yeah, that's true. But like
It gives you
very
some
early, because it's
flexibility.
not hard to power up Entei in a Charizard deck.
No, I understand, but now I just need 1 attachment, and that might be what I need that turn.
I mean, I think it's usable, but like I don't think it's a good. Like you're probably not hitting very much at all. You're probably hitting like
No, I'm
90
taking
for
out
1.
like the comfy or something.
But I don't think being able to take out Comfy is like.
Well,
I think it's
yeah.
I get the idea and I don't hate it.
Or are
Um,
there fire decks that want a lot of energy, right? Because it wants to be in a deck with lots of energy, right? So that the
yeah,
discard pile gets a lot of energy, and there's not a lot like that around.
yeah. I think it's okay.
All
I
right.
think I think C's
See.
where it belongs. I think it's
Yeah.
would you put it above or below a Seer and Typhlosion?
And that does what again?
Insta
Knocks them
kill with
out.
4 damage. Yeah.
That's a good. I'd maybe put it above it. It's
Yeah.
obviously they're both situational.
Yeah. So I think that's fair.
Put it above it.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
don't.
C though.
Okay.
I think it's not like a super good one, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Uh, Next up we got one of your favorites. Actually, you
Yeah, one of
don't
my boys.
play this.
It's
You play
Rotom
the
V Star.
V.
What's that?
You
You've done
played
the
the V
V?
a lot. I don't know if you played the V-Star much at all.
I have done the VSTAR a little bit, but not a
Okay.
lot. Um, Obviously, I use this as an attacker, and the attack doesn't matter for this. So we have the ability Conversion Star. During a turn, you may use this ability, discard any number of cards from your hand, then draw that many cards into your hand. So it's pretty nice.
Well, okay, so there are
Potentially, it's
two
nice.
ideas. One, you need to have some benefit from discarding, right?
Yeah.
And you also need
Well,
some benefit, huh?
ideally, you could just do it as a draw card too.
Yeah, but it's
Draw
not great
ability.
as a draw card. And then you need some benefit, like some reason to not want to discard everything. Because you're probably only drawing a few cards with this. Um,
Well, in a
maybe
deck like
four.
Rotom, it works where you get where you want cards in the discard pile, right? It's
But it's
that
not
type of
even like
deck.
broken in that deck. Because you like might just use Force Seal Stone, right? You're playing Force Seal
You
Stone.
might,
Um,
yes,
and
you have
you
the option depending what you need in it, but you
yeah.
might use this ability too. It's not like you don't. Um,
Yeah, but it's like made for that, and it's not even that good
r-
there.
right, most cards don't have an attack that wants things in the discard pile. I'm trying to think what else might it go into that it might make better, and I'm having a
Cast
hard time.
form.
Well, then it's S tier if it helps
Yeah.
cast form.
No, I think this is
But yeah, no, it's not very good.
I'd say it's honestly that's his bottom of C maybe.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it's
not.
okay. It's
Yeah,
general draw. It's not like it can't be that bad, but it's
right.
really a step below a lot of the other general draw ones.
I mean, what it kind of is, it's like it's different, but it's kind of like a better draw than the barrel on your turn because you're
Um,
discarding and then drawing in. They're very different, but you know
yeah,
what I'm
it's kind
saying?
of like Caitlyn. It's like Caitlyn, the supporter that always gets made fun of.
Yeah, low tier C. Yeah, and because there's things that are just better in the game, as well as a lot of trainers are better than this. That's part of where it loses out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So next we got Zero or V-Star. This one is specific. It's Lightning Storm Star for four energy, three lightning. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon four
Oh
times.
yeah.
So you can like double up. It's a bit of a strange ruling. But each time, so you
Hmm.
do 60 damage to your opponent's Pokemon four times. So you can do like 120
Right.
and 120. You can do 60 to four different ones, 180 and 120, or however. Or sorry, 180 and
Every
60. Um,
yes,
and you
any
can
combination thereof.
yeah, which is all right. It's not bad, but it's not like it's not a lot of damage. And it's a
Yeah.
lot of energy. So I'd say this is probably F or maybe D. It might be D. Actually, D.
Well,
It's used. Actually, it's pretty all right
it's used
in
some,
Miraidon. It's not. Well, it's not used, but it's not
right?
really used. But it
So
could be used in Miraidon, I
I've
think.
seen it occasionally, right? I've run into it
Oh yeah,
occasionally.
I've ran into all these though. I think.
Um, yeah, I'm just trying to think because obviously, like if you could put it on your Miraidon EX, that would be very nice, but we can't do that.
We can put on Raikou or Raichu, and that's
Or
fair.
Regieleki.
Yeah, Regieleki, which isn't seeing too much play. I think Raikou and Raichu are seeing more play, but um,
Yeah, I've seen some Regielekis. I've seen Regieleki. I've been seeing a lot of Regielekis with Flappies lately, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But
well, I feel like Flaffy's good. But anyway, so
no,
because
but
Flaffy's,
they don't have enough flap. They only bench like one Flappy, which isn't good. But
I
anyway,
guess. Anyway, so I think Zero R
um,
here is D. I think it's actually maybe it's top of D. Um,
yeah, it could be C because I think you could put it in the Lightning deck, right?
yeah, I feel like it's kind of like Charizard though, where it's like a tech in one deck and it's a little better. But you want to say bottom of C? I could see
See, in
that.
some sense, I because it's next to Rotom. If we put it either of those, I think this might be better than Rotom.
Yeah, that could be.
Do you
Okay, we
think?
could put it
But
just
maybe
above
Rotom.
Rotom.
I mean,
No,
maybe
Rotom's
Rotom's
much
too
more general
high.
though. Rotom's much more. Well, you can put Rotom in any deck, and you're not like sad to have it.
All right, then
Um,
I'd say top of D maybe
yeah,
if
okay,
you
that's
want,
fair.
or but
Next up we got Zashi and
Zacian,
V-Star.
which I'm trying to remember what that one
That
does.
one is big damage. It's 310 and 30 to itself from Metal Colorless.
Star Sword is. I mean,
Yes,
Sword Star.
Sword and
Sorry.
Star. So I think this is all right. It hits a good chunk of damage. Notably, two colors means it's more payable. You can put this in like Lost Zone style decks. Um,
Well, but you still need two
yeah,
metal.
no, it's
It's
still
not
not like
good.
great. I'd say it's probably the top of D.
Uh, all right. See, it's not too much better than Dialga's V-Star attack
Well,
because it's only one less energy. I know the two colorless, it's only two metal.
it's half
Uh,
as much metal, which is like, I mean, you can't
or-
ever use Dialga in any deck that's not like a pure metal deck.
no,
But you
I
can
get
use
it.
that in Zacian. Like
Yeah,
what you're looking at with
maybe.
these big attackers that are kind of awkward is Lawson, right? That's really what you're looking at.
I
Um,
guess. I mean, I'm not sure that's gonna work,
well,
but
no, I don't think. Well, I mean, I'm arguing it for it to
actually,
be in the
what I
D
think
tier.
what yeah, I actually if it was as a tool, I could consider I
Okay.
could attach this to Entei in my Charizard deck. I can power it up with a Raihan and a Charizard EX in one turn.
Wait, no, but you rather use Charizards
Uh,
than Zacian. Wait,
well,
what? Wait, why are you putting Metal Energy in your Charizard deck? I've gotten
for
lost.
this attack.
But
All right, I'm just saying
it
that's
does
like the
less damage than the Charizard attack.
all right, and less HP. So I'm just saying I'm trying to come up with a use of it. Okay, so
I
you
think
want it in D tier?
yeah, I think I'd put it below Zeraora, I'd say.
Below Zero Aura, which is okay.
Above Hisuian
So
and
second
Lilligant.
one in the D. Okay,
Yeah,
fair
I
enough.
wonder if our tier lists are the same right now, or if we've like done stuff differently.
I'm not
Um,
sure. It
okay.
doesn't. It's fine. All
Next
right.
up, we
So
got
now,
Zenta. I want to bring this one up. With its ability Shield Star, once during your
yeah,
turn, during your turn, you use this. During your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take 100 less from attacks. This is after weakness from resistance. And it also says it includes Pokemon that come into play this turn or during your opponent's next turn if they did like Echoing Horn. But
right.
it's pretty
Or
much
rope you up or anything. Like with Gudra,
yeah.
you lose the effect. Here it stays.
And this also
Period.
protects your bench as well. So it's a big like shield across all your Pokemon. I
Right.
think this one's pretty good. I think this one's like I like this one, but I've talked about this one how I like this one in the past. Um,
Yeah. I mean, this could go in some decks. I think. Right. Well, a lot of these wouldn't get used. This one could get used. I'm not sure what exactly, but it could get used.
yeah, I mean I feel
Um.
like it's good in a lot of like even if you're just playing like what's like a normal just like Chinpao's not a great example, but like there are decks where just like any generic like Ice Rider or whatever, you just like say, okay, well
Mhm.
it's near the end of the game, but my Ice Rider is about to die. Okay, let's just put up the shield, and now it
Right.
will, or like it protects your V's. Like when you're scared of those like a lot of times this isn't super
Mhm.
common, but it's common enough. Your opponent like Luminion, Boss KO's Luminion for game. Well, this stops that,
Right. Yeah,
or even
no, a
like
lot of late game comes
Spark.
down to one-shotting that multi-price Pokemon, and can you pull it off? Like, do you need a boss, or does your opponent get boss and things like that to win game? And this kind of shuts that down.
Hmm.
So I like it. So,
It
but
can
what
protect you in
was
the
it?
early game as well. I think this is top of B.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking B probably. I was afraid you were going to say A tier, which I
I
don't
was
think it's there.
considering like low A, but I don't. It's not quite as. It's worse than those. So
Yeah, but it's definitely playable and playable in a variety of decks. So it could go to low B, depending how we view things. But
yeah.
I mean
Okay.
low A, but
Yeah. Um.
top of B is good.
Next up, though, this one I also like another Crown Zenith one. Regigiga's V-Star. That's Star Guardian. If your opponent has exactly one prize remaining, you may choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and they discard that and all attached cards. So the idea
Hmm.
here is you remove one of their bench. So they got two Pokemon that they need, like whatever, like two Pokemon that are crucial. One Pokemon, they
Yeah.
have two cops in play, and so they're protecting themselves. But now you get rid of their bench one, you and then you KO their active one, and you can essentially just win, and you're at the very end of the game. So I think this one's okay.
Right. It's I mean it's kind of a gimmicky thing I got to say though too.
Yeah,
Right? Because at that point if you're only doing it if you have a bunch of prizes left, right? So you're behind in the game and you do it to come back because otherwise you just take the knockout, right? Do something a V-Star
yeah,
power that
uh-huh.
takes the knockout.
I think it's
Um
maybe it's just top of C.
okay. I mean that's fair. I mean, because it's certainly not helping you set up and get going either. So
Yeah,
I'd usually want, there's a lot of cards I'd want before this, is what
yeah,
I'd
this
say,
is pretty
right?
situational, but I think it can be very big in certain scenarios as well.
Okay.
Even bigger than just taking a KO. So,
Okay. So now we get to the first of the tools. We have the Sky Seal Stone.
yep.
So which is exactly, it's not like it. This is exactly what we're talking about. So star order ability during your turn, you may use this ability. If you're during this turn, if your opponent's active Pokemon V Star or active Pokemon V Max is knocked out from damage from an attack by your basic V, take one more prize. So it's specific. You have to be attacking with a basic V. And then it has to be a V Star or V Max. Obviously, there's a lot. EXs are more dominant now, so that does hurt this card, I would think, right? We got to take that into account.
Yeah, I think this one's probably I don't know where to put this one. I
And
because like
basic Vs can't take out V Maxes for the most part, right?
yeah, they'll like two-shot them.
I mean,
Which you
unless you
can do.
have like your Zacian V in
Yeah, I think like
with Giratina powering
Zacian's
it up, but that's kind of the one
Gardevoir.
case that in Gardevoir. Sorry, yeah, in Gardevoir. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably true. This one might not be very good.
But it's
Um,
seen play, so that
well,
means
it
it's
used to see play, but that's when V Stars and V Maxes were like almost every deck, which
that's
they're
true. I'm not.
definitely not right now.
Yeah.
And
So
funnily enough, they're gonna be if this was a thing, then they'd see almost no play because the V Star powers are like tools, so that you wouldn't necessarily play the V Stars. But anyway, that's like a funny, weird thing that would happen. But I think this
so
is probably somewhere in
uh,
C.
I think C. Yeah, I was thinking C. Where does it go though? Maybe it
Uh,
might. Is it bottom C then?
yeah, I don't hate putting it in the bottom of C,
Okay.
just below Rotom.
Below Rotom. Yeah, Rotom's probably a little more helpful in general.
Yeah. Next up, we got Magnezone V-Star. Electro Star for 2 lightning. This is an attack. You do 90
Yep.
to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, bench Pokemon specifically. I also forgot that this one only hit the bench. But
Yeah.
it's okay.
So I
It's
was
hard.
thinking it was better than Radiant Greninja because it's only 2, but then once it can't hit the active, it might actually be worse than Radiant Greninja's
Yeah.
attack.
It's different.
It is.
I'd honestly, I don't know how. I'd say this is also D. It's very similar to Zero. Well, it's actually no, it's okay during like the early game if your opponent can't set up like if they have their basics like against
Right.
Charizard or Chien-Pao
Take out if you
Excalibur
take out
deck.
2 comfies on the bench too, that can
Yeah,
slows them down.
yeah.
Um. So
I think this is probably I think this might be the top of C actually.
I
It's not
think
great,
top
but
of
it's
C.
hmm
Right now, top of C is what's that guy?
Regigigas.
Regigigas, and what's he do
That's
again?
someone that discards the benched Pokemon if
Oh yeah,
they have
yeah.
one prize left.
Um. Yeah, it's probably okay. So top of C.
Yeah, it's an all right card, I think. It's not great,
All right.
not great.
Oh, I don't know if I can get it to top of C somehow. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it doesn't like to go in that spot.
Yeah, two maker can be kind of goofy. Next up we got another one that's pretty good in my well, another card that's good in my opinion, but its V-Star power might not
Hmm.
be the best. It is an attack, but it's also kind of an ability. It's an attack for 1 colorless until this Pokemon leaves play. It gains an ability that says your opponent's Pokemon V in play, except.
Hmm.
Oh wait, it says except. Oh, huh. Well, it doesn't turn off itself. We'll just say.
Right, which is good. Right, this
Well, no, but
Aerodactyl V Star. I think you didn't mention that.
yeah. So I want to say so it says it doesn't turn off Aerodactyl V-Star. We'll just say it doesn't turn off itself. I think. Um,
Right.
I mean, it shouldn't turn off itself because it's like a V-Star. It's kind
Oh,
of
I understand
strange.
that. Yeah, I mean
Um,
that's the intent of that is that that's the only V Pokemon ability V that happens.
yeah. I don't know if it would turn off. Oh, it's only your opponents. So, but yeah, it would turn off all of theirs.
Yeah.
Except it doesn't turn off the seal stone. I don't know. We won't worry
Yeah, but
about
would
that
that matter?
too much.
Is that yeah? Let's not worry about
Yeah.
that.
So pretty
So
much it's like it turns off like
it's not that
Genesect
good,
and
I
Illumine.
gotta
Yeah,
say
this isn't
though.
very good.
I
With so
mean,
many like
it was
EXs.
right. Well, it was really it was there to counter Lugia as a big play, right? Lugia V Star,
Yeah,
because then
and
if you
also
got
Mew
this
some.
in Mewtwo, but now
No,
Mew
just
is
Mew, not
countered.
Mewtwo.
Haha.
I
So
got you
to
there.
counter Genesect, of course, because it's not Mew at all, but the
Yeah,
Mew deck. But right, Genesect. But now Genesect is dealt with by
Spiritomb.
Spiritomb that shuts off basic Vs. So you still need this potentially for Lugia because that's an evolution. But even back in the day, you didn't play Aerodactyl a lot when it was shutting down Mew and Lugia. Because essentially,
I
if
mean,
you
I
got this
did,
off
but
before Lugia, if you pulled this off before Lugia could use its V-Star power, you could beat Lugia. That was one of the ways to do it. It didn't see a ton of play. That was my point.
yeah, I think this
And
is
Lugia's
probably
fallen off.
it's probably like D. Yeah, I think it's top of D. I'd actually put it right below Zeraora.
Okay, so second on D.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, it's yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, even when V's were dominant, it wasn't huge. It's obviously less now.
yeah. Next up, we have Drapion V's lesser known evolution, Drapion VSTAR. This ability Hazard Star. It's an ability that makes your opponent's active paralyzed and poisoned, and you do 3 damage counters instead of 1. Honestly, this isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great, but it adds some extra damage, which is nice, and it allows you to paralyze and also if they're stuck there, they it poisons. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't bad. Like you could even use this as just
Right.
to buy a turn. Hopefully not necessarily, but you could.
Right.
I think this
Right.
is
Because the attack wasn't very good on Drapion V-Star. I didn't love it, I
yeah,
gotta
no,
say.
it's not good.
Which in a sense made the V-Star power worse because the
Yeah, and
attack
actually saw
wasn't
a
good.
play just for its V-Star power as well, but that's because you'd play Drapion. Like I think
Right.
this saw play. What set did this come out in? Um,
Uh,
It was
it's the
yeah,
Sabor.
Lost Origin. So
Yeah.
in Silver Tempest, Force Skill Stone came out. So
Okay.
before then, Urshifu would play Drapion, and then it would also play the V-Star because you didn't have another
Mm,
V-Star power. I
okay.
think it's okay. I think it's honestly, I think this is pretty good. I think
Well,
it's
and we have Jinx EX now. Is that the one that you're knocked out
no,
if
that's
you're
sleep. I'm
it's
pretty
a
sure.
sleep only, it's not special conditions, it's a
Yeah, I'm
sleep?
pretty sure it's sleep.
Okay. All right, then sorry, I take that
Um,
back.
so, but yeah, Drapion. Actually, let me double check. I wanna. I'm pretty sure it's sleep.
The Jinx.
Yeah, sleep. So,
Okay.
I think Drapion is honestly top of B.
Top of B. Top of B. Let's see.
The rest of the cards aren't that good.
What's Zacian do?
No, it's
I mean
Zamazenta. It's the
Zamazenta.
like all your Pokemon take 100 less.
Yeah,
Um,
it's better than that.
and the
Yeah,
ones like a Snipe Crest, they're not even that like good. I think it's
I can see it's top of B. Yeah, no,
yeah,
top of B. What I'm starting to see is most of these V Star powers aren't all that good.
yeah. I thought they
I
were
gotta
gonna be
say
better
because
than this.
so far it falls off fast and hard. So anyway,
Yeah. Oh,
that
next
getting
one
back
though.
to
You should
oh
know
this next
this one.
one's going.
Well, it's
This is gear.
interesting. It's
Well, it's very situational, right? So Giratina V Star, the card I predicted to win Worlds that somehow did not. But V Star Power, it's an attack, Star Requiem. It's grass psychic because it's a dragon type, so that's always a complication too, which is why it's in Lost Zone or Arceus. I don't know what else is going to play it still. You can use this attack only if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. So it has to be in Lost Zone. Sorry, take that back. Lost Zone decks only
yeah.
because Arceus, they play colorless experiment potentially, but they're not getting 10. So then your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out. So very good, of course.
Yeah, but we saw
And
other ones like we saw an instant KO one in Hisuian Typhlosion, which we put in C, which I'd say is easier to use as it's directly
what's that one?
cheaper.
Well, they're down to if they have 4 damage counters, right?
Yeah, which I
This
say
is
is easier than getting 10
well,
cards in
this
Lost
in
Zone.
loss. Well, lost zone you'll get there if you're in a
Well,
lost
yeah,
zone
in
deck.
Lost Zone you will get there, but that's more limited. Um,
Well, but think how good. But if lost zone box could play Giratina's V Star in it as an
it's a
option,
basic.
right? Would
But you
be
still need
good.
the grass energy. I think it's not awful. I could see
It
this
would make
as
lost zone
top.
box better, right? Having this
Barely though. Like you'd still probably play the
because of the
Giratina because it's first attacks. Like when you only have the V Star or only have the first attack, it loses a lot of its power. I think.
But
So
if you had Lost Zone Box with obviously Crammer and Sableye and with like your Lightning Attacker and stuff, the problem is now we're getting a lot of energy types. But
yeah, I think the
Lost Box doesn't mind that because Mirage Gate accelerates 2 different energies. It's an option,
I think
is what I'll
this
say.
could be top of C.
You
I
think
think
top
it's
is okay?
I think it's
Yeah, no,
mhm,
fair enough. It's not better than that.
yeah.
And if you want to
Ooh.
drop it down somewhere and see, I could accept an argument. It gets
Mm.
very hard to
Yeah,
place,
it's a very
obviously.
strange card, but Lost Stone's very good. So, um, next up, oh, is Gudra. I assume Gudra V-Star. This one,
Oh yeah.
you like. This is actually really interesting. Its ability just lets you heal all your damage from this Pokemon. Um,
Right.
it's very
Wow.
straightforward. It's pretty good. Um,
What's it going to go on though, right? That's
I'm
the
making,
problem. It's only
yeah.
limited to Vs. Because imagine you could play it on a Charizard EX. That would be just tremendous, right?
Yeah, but I think on like most VMAX and V-Stars, they'd like this. I think this is
Yeah.
like Mew could play it, right?
Well, that would
Mew
be,
might
yeah.
not want to play it because Mew has ways of healing and it also wants to use like other things, but like we
Hmm.
could run this. Um, and I'm
Yeah.
sure this would open the door to other tankier VMAX and V-Stars as well. So
Yes.
I
So this
think,
would
but
see
obviously it's
play.
best on Gudra, right? So
It is. Well, it would go on VMAXs, right? That's the potential,
yeah,
I
but
would
even the
think, right?
VMAXs essentially have less HP. So
Oh, because of the effect of the
yeah, like
attack, you're
Gudra just is
saying.
so big. So I think it's
Yeah.
this is probably bottom of B, I think.
All right. It's B. I might see it higher than
Where do
that,
you put
but
it? You could I could see it maybe one spot up, probably not more than that.
yeah, let's do
Like
one spot up.
so between Hisuian Sidrai and Hisuian Samurott. Um,
Yeah.
breaking up the boys. Next up, ooh, Hisuian Zarg V-Star. This one's pretty. What's is this? Yeah. So, oh, okay. This is just research as an
What's
ability.
it?
Um,
Okay.
which is good.
Yes.
I think this is.
I mean, we have the one that you discard and draw. Well, we have the one you draw to 8, and we have the one you discard and replace. I think it's better than either of those.
Yeah, I think this is probably the bottom of A.
Bottom of A. Uh, is it good enough to be an A?
I think so. Although, like,
Maybe it
as opposed
is.
to what, like
Yeah.
poison and paralysis,
No,
just in the
you're
top
right.
of B. I think it's
Could
like
it be?
pretty
Could
good.
it go the middle of A? Is it better than?
Yeah, I could see it above Darkrai.
It's probably more useful than Darkrai in general, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Well,
middle of A
I don't know. Yeah,
between Palkia and Darkrai, you think?
yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, they're both close, depending what you want,
Yeah.
obviously.
Okay. Next up is do you want to read it or should I read it?
You can read it. I don't have it up. So
Okay.
we have
Yeah,
the Mewtwo.
Mewtwo V Star. Star Raid, a really interesting one here. It's actually similar to Earth and Sealstone. But it's Star Raid. It does 120 for Psychic Colorless. Does 120 to each of your opponent's Pokemon V.
Hmm.
V's aren't as played very much.
Right.
This isn't garbage. I think this is like okay. I think it's probably somewhere in I was gonna say C. I'd say it's somewhere near the bottom end of C. I'd say it's probably like the bottom of C or maybe the top of D.
Yeah. I
Actually,
mean,
no, I'd
because
probably put it like below. No, I'd say it's actually like middle of D. It's pretty not. It's very
okay,
specific, right?
right. Because even playing Lunatone Soul Rock with this, which of the starter decks is this is the close. It's the closest to the right deck list, I would say. Probably the
Um,
worst of them. You know, it's not a bad list, is what I'll say. But this V Star power was still not great in that deck, is what I'll say.
yeah. So I'd say. Well, I don't think it has synergy with that deck either, though. So like, it's
Yeah.
not a spread deck at all. So it's
No.
like a big one-shotting deck. That's like the thing. So or kind of one-shotting,
Right. I
two-shotting.
mean, the only time you wanted to use it was against Mew. That's what I'd say. Because then you finish off the Mew V Maxes one with easily after that.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, not like super easily, but um,
no. So you think D, mid
uh,
D,
yeah,
or
I think
now?
it could be a little high. I'd say where do you think it should be?
Try to see. I get confused with what does what. So like, what's Aerodactyl do?
Aerodactyl, that's the one that's like the turns off V abilities. I'd say it's above
Uh,
Aerodactyl. I'd say it's between
okay.
Zero or an Aerodactyl.
Okay. That does 90 to. No, wait. What does
Oh,
Zero or
that's
do?
now you're getting confused with
I was getting.
Magzone.
I know I am.
Zero or is
Yeah.
60 to like 4, but then you can like
Oh, that's
stack,
to
but it's a
4.
bunch of
Yeah.
energy. Yeah.
Right. But it's a very nice attack. But it's the energy cost is tough. Okay.
Yeah. Next up, we got one that I think is easier to rank, although it might be okay. It's not good on Dragonite V-Star. But Draconic Stars, one colorless. Look at the top 12 cards of your deck and attach any number of water or lightning energy cards you find there to your Pokemon any way you
Mhm.
like. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. I mean, it's certainly better than when it's not on Dragonite, right? It's not good on Dragonite V-Star, but
Yeah.
and
It's
it
your
can be,
attack, though,
yeah,
right?
no, it's
If
not.
it was an ability, it's not.
Yeah,
It's only marginal as an ability, is what I'd say. Like I
I
could
think if
play it
it's an
as
ability, it'd
ability.
be good.
I could
Um,
play it in some things. I still don't love
I mean,
it,
it's
but
almost as good as Palkia then. Like it's
yeah,
inconsistent, but it's very
it's not
strong.
as good, right? But I'd
Um,
do Palkia over this, say, in my Blastoise EX deck to power stuff
yeah,
up. Let's
but
say.
if you want, like, if you have like an energy, like if you're playing like Ryan on Flaffy, you definitely consider this.
You
Well, if it
might,
was an
but it's
ability,
your
not as an
attack,
attack.
right?
So I think this is.
It's not good as an
Ooh,
attack.
I'm tempted. Um, and it's not good. I don't want to put an
Is it?
F,
You
but
don't want to F it. You don't
we
want to
can
fail it.
put I'd say yeah, we can put it in
Sorry.
the top of F.
You can put it. You want bottom of D?
Now
It's low D then.
let's put
Top
in
of F.
yeah.
Above
It's pretty
above.
bad. Like it looks really bad. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay.
maybe in these scenarios it could be okay, but you don't really.
Right.
Like you're using up your V-Star power and you're not doing damage, and so yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next we have Superior V-Star,
Yeah.
which is for 1 energy. It's an attack star winder. Does 60 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. Of course. So why is the attack cost only 1 when you don't want 1? But whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's like Whimsicott.
Versatile, I guess. So and then you switch it with one of your bench Pokemon, which right now I don't think that V Star Power works well with this, but maybe that would be better if we could put it on a different Pokemon, right?
Yeah, I think you
With a
could
different attack. I'm trying to think now.
yeah, I definitely don't hate this card, or I don't hate this V-Star power. It's I'd say directly worse than Whimsicott. Hit and run's not that good, and you'd rather snipe, and its typing's not particularly good. But I could
Right.
definitely see it as the top card in C.
Okay. I mean, of course, grass isn't good.
Yeah, but you only need one. You only need one grass, right? Yeah, you can just put one grass on. So you could even do a luminous. I don't really think that'd be a
Oh, that's
great
true. It's for
strategy.
each energy. So,
Yeah.
and if you have a DTE, that counts as 2.
hmm
So, yeah.
I think
So
it's not.
top of C.
Yeah, it's not
It's
great.
probably more. I might use it more than I guess Giratina as a V Star Power.
Yeah, superior V-Star, better than Guillotine V-Star. You heard it here first.
Exactly. All
Um,
right. I want one of my boys again or girls. I don't know. So Alolan
I like
Vulpix
this one
V
too.
Star. So you want to read it then?
No, you got it. You got it.
All right. So this is for no energy. So you can't beat that. Silvery
Yeah, I mean it's an
Snowstar
attack
does.
though, so it's still worse than an ability.
Yeah, and actually you play the card for the regular attack. But anyway,
Yeah.
this attack does 70 damage for each of your opponents. Pokemon V in play. It's not affected by weakness or resistance, but it doesn't hit through effect. So that's kind of a weird thing on the text. But anyway, it is the Mew killer, right? That's what you try to save it for. Although even then, you usually use Arceus' V Star power first, and then are sad. But that's kind of what you want it for, right? One shot the Mew V
Yeah,
Max.
but that's in that deck. I think it's pretty good though. Like
I mean,
um
how often what other matchups do you actually want to use it
well
in?
you don't use it because you use Arceus's, but
But how often do you want the V? What other
I mean
besides
it's free
hitting
though.
into a
It's
Mew
really
V
not like
Max?
if you're just I mean you can certainly hit like 120. Or wait,
Yeah,
what is it? How much? No, I don't. Is it was 70 times?
it does
140?
70.
Which is not bad. You're talking about like I think Semi-Seer and like Entei decks hitting like 90 for one, which is bad, which you have to reach for some. But this is free. It's
Yeah,
hitting.
and it's free. You can attach energy elsewhere to set up, which has its value too.
Yeah.
If that's
So
where you're at.
I think it's nice as a panic button, and it's not great, but it's free. You know, it's very
Free
different.
attacker that you have an option in any V deck you want to. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think this
okay.
is honestly,
You're
I'd
talking me into it.
say,
Moving up now.
um,
Is it B then?
yeah, it's somewhere in B. I'd say it's probably between Gudra and Assume Decidueye, maybe.
Okay,
But
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure
it's not like a
exactly.
broken card, but it's
So it's
okay.
towards the bottom end of B, lower
Mhm.
below, right below. Oh no, above Gudra. Sorry,
Yeah, I think so.
between. Yeah, okay, that's
Oh,
good.
okay, we
Oh,
got an interesting one again. This one's not good. I'm just gonna say is for 3 colorless until this Pokemon lose play, it gains an ability like Aerodactyl that the weakness of each of your opponent's Pokemon in play is now Psychic.
Right. And this is unknown V-Star because
Yeah, this is unknown
just in
V-Star.
case you're wondering.
And I think I might replace the current weakest. I don't remember, but like it's 3 energy, and it's probably on like a basic. It's probably gonna die, and then it's not gonna matter. So this one's
Right.
pretty. I think this is also F.
Well, it's obviously all goes in a psychic deck. So obviously, like Gardevoir EX is like a deck that would want this, but they don't play this, right? So
Well, I mean, well, it's different as well, like because it's now you can put on like your Zacian, but like it's probably gonna die. Oh, and then you're like damaging yourself to power it up. Yeah, this seems bad.
well, but because like in the but you use the attack, and then you can take out your opponent's Pokemon with your single prizers after that very
Yeah, but the
easily,
idea
right?
is to like take him out with single prices anyway.
Right. So, but I don't know what other deck would
No,
actually
yeah, I
even
think this
want
is bad.
this.
I think this is
It
really.
has
I
to
think
go in
this is.
Gardevoir, I think, to pay for it, and that doesn't use it now. So I just don't
You could
see
put
it.
it in Mew VMAX. You could Mew VMAX, and then
That's
you
true.
double
You
turbo, and
could do
then
that.
at least a Sparkle. That's actually not bad. Oh, make sure you don't Psychic Leap though. That'd be bad. Because then it goes back into the deck, and then it loses the ability. But that would
Yeah.
be
I
unfortunate.
mean, the
So
problem is you're letting your opponent hit into you for free. But okay, so
yeah,
it's still not good then,
yeah. I think
right?
this is
So is
probably
it
F. I think this is.
F? Okay. I mean, it could be a D,
Is this the
but you
worst
want
one? You don't think it's the worst one? Do you want to put top of F?
what's the bottom one? This is what
Shaman. It's
Shaman?
Shaman, Dialga,
What's
then
that one do?
Dragon. Which
What's Shaman
Shaman
do?
is the healing, like your bench grass Pokemon.
Oh,
I
uh,
mean, it's not good. I'm
I maybe put it above Shaman, between Shaman and Dialga.
okay. That's fair. Next up we got Mawile. Okay, this one's interesting. You
All right, what's
switch
this one
in
do?
the Pokemon it's attached to, from the bench to the active,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then you gust up one of your opponent's Pokemon.
And you get
So
to choose, right?
yeah, so you choose to gust. You do have to switch it in the cards attached to, which
Mm-hmm.
generally isn't
So it's likely if
ideal.
you're on V-Star, except you have to switch this Pokemon in,
Yeah, and
right?
so it's not quite Guzma because you have to switch this one. Um,
Yeah.
but I'd still say this is probably top of A. Like
It's worse than Leafeon,
yeah, it's a little
I'm
worse
pretty
than
sure, right?
Leafeon, but it's not that much worse than Leafeon. Are there any
Well, you
pivot
have to
Vs or
attack with this
free?
Pokemon.
Well, no.
You
I
need
mean,
a
you could
V or a V with
retreat.
free retreat,
Yeah, I'm trying to
like you
think if
put
there
on your
is anything.
Mew VMAX, baby.
Yeah. Actually, you might.
But
I
well,
think this is pretty
yeah,
good. Like it's
for Mew VMAX, then you
um
just attack with it, obviously. And are there good pivot Vs?
yeah, I don't know.
I'm
Even if
not trying
there
to.
aren't, like it's a free. I'd say I could see you
Yeah.
dropping below Palkia. I couldn't
Okay.
see you drop. Do you want to put it second in A?
Yeah, second and A is fine.
Okay. Next up, this one's interesting. You want to read it?
Yeah, so Regidrago, let me call it. I can get it quickly here, I do believe. So Regidrago V-Star's ability, let's Legacy Star. During your turn, you may discard the top 7 cards of your deck, then put two cards from your discard pile into your hand. And those cards are not restricted to those 7 cards you discarded. So you can recover any 2 cards from the discard pile, including the 7 more you put in. So it's a very nice ability, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, for some things, it obviously works well with Regidrago,
But it doesn't even
but
work amazingly in that because you don't choose what you discard, and you don't
no.
completely choose what you get. It's not like you're choosing
Well,
from your
but
whole deck.
it's an ability that works well, like in Regidrago, like if you're pairing it with Arceus, which is what I've done. A lot of times have to use Arceus's V-Star power to get set up. But if you can
Y-
avoid doing that, then you save this for later game. You want this
yeah, it
last
can be
half of the game.
good late
Your
game
discard
because
pile's big.
it can just allow you to recover 2 cards. You can actually deck
Right.
yourself out, which is obviously bad, but
Yeah.
it can be used to win the. I think it's directly in
Like
competition with Darkrai here, right? Because Darkrai gets 2 items. Um,
its recovery is obviously better than Darkrai because it's 2 anything.
yeah. I'd say
Where's
it's a little.
Darkrai
It's
again?
in bottom of A. So I guess
I
it's
think it's better
better.
than Darkrai.
Yeah, it might be better than like a free research as well. Is it? Yeah, it's better. I'd say this is honestly
Yeah.
this could be top of
Yeah,
A.
because
I'd put it
better than
below. I'd put it
Palkia,
below
maybe.
Palkia. I'd put it below Palkia actually.
Okay, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh,
it's good.
this next one's kind of good. It's Lugia. Yeah, Lugia, where you put the two like colorless non-rule box Pokemon for your discard and pile into
Mm-hmm.
play. We can do this turn one. So you can play a Luminion to grab Burnett. Discard the two what's it
Wow.
called? The two Archeops. You
Archeops,
attach
and you
this.
can get them into play turn one and then use them turn one.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
this
all
is
right. Well,
this is very good.
is this could this challenge Arceus? Because is
Oh
that
yeah.
busted?
That's kind of I mean it's
We
kind of
just
busted,
broke the
but that's
game.
also like Palkia. It's kind of similar to Palkia. I think it's A. I think because Palkia can also like do big because you don't have as you don't actually have that great attacks turn one. Certainly you have big damage turn one.
Hmm.
Um
You're getting 4 energy into play,
yeah, but
potential,
like
right?
so I'd say this is probably top of A, but I think it's actually no, I say it
It's
takes I think it takes over Leafeon and drop Leafeon to A, but
I think it's
um
better than Leafeon.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
probably.
could yeah.
They're very different, obviously, very different.
I'd say it's a little better
Um,
than Leafeon. So
or do we want the three in tier A? I mean
S.
S tier. I'm not sure.
I think two's good. I think it's Arceus and then Lugia and then we drop Leafeon.
Okay.
They're
Yeah. So
close. Lugia's like can be super busted.
I
Um,
mean, Lugia separated from its card. This one picks up the most probably of any
yeah, like
card, I
Lugia is
think.
bad. Like Lugia's attack isn't good. It's
I mean,
not
it's
the
not a bad
worst. Well,
attack,
it's kind
but
of bad. It's not great. It's
it's
220 for
multi-prizer.
4, so like it's not particularly good. It's not awful, but it's
Yeah.
not great.
Once you have Archeops, you have better options, probably.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, next up.
Okay.
Oh, we got you want to read this one?
So wait. Oh, this is one of the stones. Which
I
one's
got it.
this
I
one?
got it. It's Earth and Sealstone.
Yeah, I don't
Star
remember this one.
Gravity. It's the attack one. 3 colors. Put damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon V until they all have remaining HP of 100. Um,
Okay. The one Pokemon just hit the bench, right? Or did it do all?
huh?
That was the what was the
Mewtwo V Star.
Mewtwo? Yeah, what did that do?
Was that only bet? It was 120 to each of their Vs. I don't remember if it
Oh,
hit the
120 to
active.
each. Yeah. No, it hits the active too.
It
So this
does.
one
Okay.
puts them to 100. So can
I'd
be
say
better
this
against V
one's
Maxes.
yeah. I'd say this one's better than Mewtwo. It's also colorless. It's 3, but I think it's better. I'd say
Yeah.
it's like
And
top of
DTE doesn't
D.
hurt it. Top of
Yeah,
D.
I'd say it's top of D. I still don't think it's like particularly good. Actually,
No, in part
I'd
because
literally actually no, I'd just put it right above Mewtwo, but um, I think
right
it's
above Mewtwo. So
yeah,
second in D.
yeah. I
Okay.
think
I
they're
mean,
like pretty much the same thing.
yeah. And the fact that the V's are dropping off obviously hurts it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, next up, this one you
Sky
should
Seal
no
Stone.
Forest Seal Stone.
Or Seal Stone, sorry. So Star Alchemy. Yeah, you've played this a ton, probably everybody. During your turn, you search your deck for any one card, put it into your hand, which is
Hmm.
super good right now. But
It
now that
is.
we can do two instead of one, it's garbage. But
It's F
it could be
tier.
the
No, I don't think
it
it's F
could be
tier. I
the
think
bottom
it's
of F. But if we
um.
compare it, but we're not
I
doing
think yeah. I
that.
think that's kind of
So,
silly. So
all
um,
right. So like Darkrai gets what 2 items back.
yeah,
It's
I'd
better than
probably
that.
rather have it is.
Or well, it's
I say it's
close, right?
similar. I'd say we can put it at the bottom of A.
Okay. I mean,
I
it
don't
could be
hate it,
top of
especially
B,
because yeah, I think bottom of A is fine.
bottom
I
of
think it's
A.
a
You
good
think?
card. Like you wouldn't
Yeah.
ever play this card, obviously, but it's like it's
Right.
strong.
Yeah, if we didn't have Arceus's thing, then yeah, you'd play it in some decks for sure.
Yeah. Well, you do.
You
Wait,
do now.
instead of if you had all
If
the other
with
ones
our
except for
format,
Arceus.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think right,
Um.
exactly.
Mhm.
All right, so this
Ooh, Glaceon. It does
let's see
was
you do.
220 for 3,
Yep.
water colorless, and then you're invincible, including effects.
Right, which is good.
So, yeah, obviously you can get gust around and stuff. I think this is probably bottom of B,
I'm trying to
somewhere
think what
around
would play
there.
this, right? I
Yeah, I think like
mean,
water decks could play it. Although you play Palkia, but like, water decks could
well,
play
you'd
this.
probably include this tool as well if you didn't need to use Palkia. You'd like this,
Yeah.
obviously.
I think it's yeah, you could boost it up. I could put it right below Lone Vulpix.
Wait, so which tier are we at here?
B.
B. Where little Vulpix
It
is?
should be in the middle of B,
Oh,
like
B. Hang
above
on.
Gudra, below
Oh, I see.
Decidueye.
Okay. Yeah. Between Decidueye and Vulpix.
You want to put above Vulpix? Okay.
Oh, you want it below
Yeah.
between Vulpix and Goodra, you want it?
Yeah, but you don't like it on Vulpix. I'm
No,
fine with
that's fine. No, that's
okay
fine.
between
We'll put it.
Vulpix and
Yeah.
Gudra. I think
Okay.
it's a nice tool, but it's kind of situational. Ooh, Lucario, interesting one here. I don't remember this one super. Oh, it does.
All right.
Okay.
This is Aura Star, 70 damage for fighting colorless, and it does 70 for each energy attached to all your opponent's Pokemon. So
Yeah, I
it
remember this one now.
beats up on decks that want to flood the board with energy. So you know what you can do now with this, since it's a fighting one, you can one shot them right on EX with your fighting Pokemon because they like lots of energy.
Yeah, or
Oh,
Arceus as well, which no one's
yeah, all
playing
the
because
things
it's
that are
bad.
fighting weak. So
No, it's okay against. I mean, it's you can one shot the Gardevoir with like 20 HP. Can do
well,
like
of
you can do
course, that has like only
10,000
20
damage.
health left at that point on it,
Yeah.
right after all those energies. Um, it
This
has its
is
uses, but it's limited, right?
yeah,
It's
like
not
I'm
as good as it
trying to
sounds when you
think.
dig into it.
I think this is somewhere in C.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, for a deck that would play this, maybe it goes into like Lost Box again,
yeah, I
but
think
that's
Urshifu
another.
could play it. I think it's not like bad. I think it's a
Mhm.
very solid mid-range, overall mediocre V-Star power that allows you to do
Yeah,
some more damage, and it's okay.
yeah, an Urshifu deck with or Metacham obviously could use it too, something like
Yep.
that with the fighting. So where'd you say
Somewhere in
B,
C, I think.
C,
It could
like
high C. Um,
Superior V Star is a attack and retreat? Is that what it is?
yes,
Or
yeah. I think
so is it
it's
worse than that? Better than that?
I think it's better than that. I think top of C is fair.
Okay, that's fine.
Next up we got Cleaver. Ah, okay, Cleaver is the one I was thinking of. Cleaver is pretty good. Let me pull it up. I forgot where it is. There we
You
go.
got
Yeah.
it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
okay.
Or do you can say it.
Sure. Rampaging Star for one fighting does 30 damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So,
Like
and it's any.
Semi-Seer.
I don't. Okay. I've been playing some of the was it the Grievard decks? So and it compare with that. You just need the fighting energy. It doesn't have to be psychic type. So there we go. Right.
Yeah.
30 or in your Wormadam deck, right?
Yeah, and it says this has a good multiplier. Normally cards like this have a 10 or 20. This card's actually
Right.
seen play. Very
Has
little
it?
play, but some in Zorvar
Okay.
for some reason. But yeah, it does seem playing that. So it's his first attack's actually not bad either, but that's not
Hmm.
obviously not what we're worried about. So this is all right. Yeah, you're probably not one-shotting again.
Hmm.
It's
Is there a good fighting V Pokemon that this works into, right? Because now we don't need to have the
it's
Cleaver
okay on
anymore.
Urshifu, but it's not
Yeah,
amazing
it
on
doesn't play a
that.
ton. You don't playing it. You're not filling a lot of Pokemon in your discard pile. Um, it's not bad. Is it a C? Is it a
Yeah,
D?
so I think, well, I'm comparing it to Semi-Seer, which is energies. It's fire type, but it's for
Yeah,
each
and
energy.
where's that one?
That's in C. That's a fire type.
It's
It's
like okay, it's kind of
um
fourth from the bottom.
yeah. So do you think it's better or worse than that?
Semi-Seer does what for energies in your discard pile?
Yeah.
And what's the multiplier on that
It's
one?
30 again.
I think Semi-Seer is probably better than it,
Yeah.
right? Because you're going to have more
I'd
energy
say
usually than Pokemon, right?
yeah. I think the typing is a little worse. I'd say put it right below Semi-Seer.
Okay,
Actually, no, I'd put it above because I think its typing's
above.
better.
Okay,
But it's
you have
just
better options for fighting too,
yeah.
so that it probably gets more value in those decks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And lastly, Deoxys. This is another one of those like generic psychic ones. Star Force. It does 60 for each energy attached to both active.
Hmm.
I'd rather play Whimsicott because that snipes. This isn't
Yeah.
garbage. I think this is probably bottom of B, something like
You
that.
think? When are you going to play it?
Well, in like Gardevoir and Lost Zone, it gets to one shots pretty easily.
Well, but then wouldn't you just rather do Zacian V or something? Why
Well,
do you want this?
Zash, you need like lots of energy. This you only need like 3
So you
or
don't need
4.
as much. So
Yeah,
bottom of B. All
yeah.
right. Okay.
Okay, we've gone a little long here. You're right that we did take up the
Yes,
time. I should have
I
known
told
that.
you we.
We tend to go long in this, but Uh,
Right.
I think that's all there is to say about it. Okay, this is obviously not necessarily a useful thing. Um,
Well, because you
but
can't actually play the game this way.
yeah. But it's a thing. I think it's an interesting thought experiment, and yeah,
Yeah.
tell us what you think of this style of video, though. This is kind of going back to your old school. Like we did a tier list before together, and it took a while, but it was
Right.
kind of interesting back and forth talking.
Yeah.
So tell us what you think of this style of video. And of course, if you enjoyed, subscribe to both of our channels, like the video, comment, do all that good stuff,
Yep.
and give us any suggestions as well. Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, well, just if you like tier lists in general, let us know. And if you like things that are a what if scenarios, let us know. Or if you just like tier lists but not what ifs, let us know about that too, because it's those two things combined here. We don't have to combine them together in the future.
Yep. See ya.
Take care.